On today's episode of Rowdy Riley's Sports Review, we'll hear from Coach Jeff Forehand, who is the baseball coach for the Lipscomb Bisons. Coach, thank you so much for coming on.
Rowdy, thank you for having me.
What was the catalyst for your love of sports?
Wow, that's a great question. You know, my family's been in sports for forever. My dad coached for 30 years before he passed away. He was at Old Madison High School forever and finished up coaching in high school at Montgomery Bell Academy, and coached in the summertime forever, and that's all we did. I mean, our family, we were baseball all the time. Every summer vacation was a baseball trip, and just grew up in it and just got immersed in it that way, with him always being a coach. And I just got raised on the ball field, so I think that it just took shape that way for me to continue to do this for a living.
I know baseball's more or less a fall summer sport. Did you get on those baseball trips? Did you get to go to any major league stadiums?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what was always scheduled around. We were big Cincinnati Reds fans back then, and you're too young to know Pete Rose and Ken Griffey Jr. and Johnny Bench and all those guys on that team. But we seemed to go do that just about every summer. We're Braves fans, and just any major league park we could get to was pretty good. But mostly Atlanta and Cincinnati, since they were close. But we'd take those trips, and every time we would either go to a major league city, or we're going with my dad's summer league team to Podunk Town, wherever, for we counted that as vacation because we got to be on the ball field.
Did you exclusively grow up playing baseball?
No, we actually, like most kids, I mean, we played them all. Whatever season it was is what we were playing. And I never played organized football since I was a real young guy, but played basketball in high school, and we just grew up with the love of sports and the love of competition. And it just was fun for us to be able to do whatever sport was going on right then. Never really got into soccer, but we'd play it in the backyard, and ping pong and pool and everything that was going on. I think it was just probably the competitive spirit that was what was driving us. But like I said, baseball was number one, but all the rest of the sports were a close second.
What was your favorite position to play on the field?
Oh, wow. I probably was a better second baseman than anywhere, because that's, don't tell all these second basemen out there, but that's easy. That's an easy spot. I probably was a more of a middle infielder. I was probably a little bit short playing shortstop, but I played middle infield most of the time. But when I got down the street, in our rival where I went to school at Belmont, I ended up playing third base for the majority of my career.
What's it like coaching against your alma mater every fall?
It's different. It's really different. We, there for a beginning, when, Belmont and Lipscomb's rivalry is so deep, and it was really deep when I was in school there. Over the years, since we're not in the same conference anymore, it's not near as deep as it used to be, especially on the basketball end. But even on the baseball end, it was always the Battle of the Boulevard for me. But I think as we get older, the guys that are on the team nowadays don't really recognize it as the rivalry that I recognize it as. They're those people over at Belmont. The athletic director I went to school with, the head baseball coach. We're as close of friends as can be. Every year we play, we go to breakfast the morning, or lunch the morning of the game, and we just talk about it and carve it up and just have a great time. So my respect for what's going on down there at Belmont is so rich, and those people down there mean the world to me. But at the end of the day, it is still a rivalry for me. I don't think a lot of people, younger people, your generation, look at it like the same generation that I had when we were packing out basketball games at 15,000 people and having to move them across town to Vanderbilt to play the games, and the heat of that rivalry was so intense. But I do take the same thing when we play in baseball, is that, man, that's a rivalry game to me, and because it means something, because I have so much invested here and also over there. So it's a lot of fun. It's a healthy rivalry, so to speak.
In doing my research, I found out that you're one of the few people that actually grew up and still live in Nashville. What was your favorite restaurant that is no longer?
Wow.
Was it Rotier's or?
I remember Rotiers, and we went in there a few times when we would get to that side of town. But some of us older guys might go back to Shoney's. You go back to that. You guys don't even know what that is, but that's where my family growing up. We weren't. My mom and dad both were school teachers, so we weren't hitting the high end restaurants a whole lot. But I do remember Shoney's being one that we always hooked up at with all of the friends, and we kind of hung out there. So I grew up an old school blue collar guy, I guess, going to Shoney's.
What is one spot or place in Nashville that you always have the guys that are currently on the team take recruits?
Wow, now the landscape of downtown Nashville's changed so much. Now we got the Top Golf. We sometimes take them there for some entertainment when we do that. And, if there's a sporting event on campus, we like to take them to that. And, 9 times out of 10, the guys that come in town, we do like to show them, downtown, and we go down to Broadway where they can see to get the Nashville feel, so to speak. But we take them down there where they can see that and let them walk up and down, Broad Street to see what's going on over there. But if we had to pick a spot, would probably be Top Golf, because that's kind of the catchy thing to do when recruits come into town.
During your tenure at Lipscomb, how many people have gone into the major league?
Wow, major leagues, probably not as many as you think, but minor league baseball has been a few. There have been so many, I can't really count them up. I can go back, and we just put 3 guys in the Hall of Fame last year. Caleb Joseph, Rex Brothers, and Josh Smith all played in the big leagues. And going back years, before that, we had some other guys that got there, but before my time. But we've had a lot of guys that got drafted into and are still playing minor league baseball at this point, but were really good players for us. But the 3 guys that have made it to the big leagues, we put those guys in Lipscomb's Hall of Fame last year, and they had a really good careers in professional in Major League Baseball. But we had 3 guys off of last year's team drafted: Logan Van Treek, Caleb Ketchup, and Tucker. All those guys were Braden Tucker. All those guys were drafted last year and playing for the Reds, the Angels, and the Nationals. So they're starting their careers as we speak right now, and we've got a couple of guys that are still fighting their way, through the minor leagues to hopefully one day make that major league jump.
Did you feel playing baseball yourself, do you feel like that has prepared you for your coaching career?
I think so. I think there can be really good coaches who never played. There's guys that have not played as extensively as some, and are still really, really good coaches. I had the opportunity to play for so long, and I think those experiences have helped me be able to to train some of our guys and hopefully be a better infield instructor, and hopefully be a better hitting coach, and the things that I've learned. But the game is so complex that we are blessed that we have 3 or 4 different coaches, that a couple guys that help work with the pitching staff, and now we've got coaches that work with each position group: outfielders, catchers, and infielders. So it's like I don't have to do it all myself. I have back when my early career had to be able to coach all the positions, but now we've got so many coaches that are helping us now. And the game is, like I said, is so complex. It's like we have to break that down so much to be able to develop the guys. So on that end, I think playing only can help, because it puts you in that position, and those experiences that you gain on the field only are going to help you when you're trying to manage it off the field.
Do you believe your experience at Good Pasture and MBA helped you in your collegiate coaching career?
I think so. I think those, all those experiences, like we said earlier, you learn something from every experience. I'm learning something today from you, being able to do this and seeing you guys produce this thing. So it's so cool to learn that. But, growing up, if you don't look at all these experiences, something is that you can gain something positive from, there's really no reason in doing it. And when you look back when you were younger, and when I was coaching at Good Pasture, I didn't really realize what the players were teaching me now that I still use today to try to help these other guys, these college guys on their journey. And those guys that I coached back in high school, they are now have their own family started and they're doing their different things with their job. And I look at them and I still look at them like they were 16, 17, 18 years old. And now they're 40 plus years old with their families and doing some great things. So I like to be able to lean back on what they taught me. I probably didn't teach them as much as they taught me, but as those experiences evolve, it has helped me through, from Good Pasture, coaching there to coaching at Trevecca Nazarene down the street, and then being here now 18 years. All those experiences just put you in a better spot to be able to maybe give some advice to some guy, because it's all not coaching out there, Rowdy. That it's like most of this is not necessarily baseball, but it's life. And if we always talk about in our program, we're trying to raise up better sons, husbands, and fathers. So if we can do a great job with that, the baseball tends to take care of itself.
What is one team tradition that you look forward to? Is it the first pitch dinner, which I think y'all just recently had?
Right.
Or is it seeing all the botched haircuts?
The haircut, we do that sometimes. We kind of made a change with the haircuts. With this day and age, sometimes you get in trouble if you start cutting somebody's hair. Maybe mom might not like that. So we've kind of slowed that tradition just a little bit. But one of my favorite things that we do is at the end of every fall, not the spring, but at the end of every fall, we pick teams and we play a purple and gold series, best 2 out of 3 usually, and winners eat steak, losers eat hamburger. So at the end of that, the losers also have to be the waiter for their opposite position player. So if you and I both were playing second base and you won and I lost, I would have to get an apron and I'd have to be your waiter. So I'd have to wait till I ate until you released me to go from being your waiter. So I'm serving you salad, baked potato, steak, and all the fixings. And then you have to be my waiter. I got to get you your drinks and all that. And then after the fact, when it's over with, when you're finished with me, you can release me and I can go eat my hamburger and potato chips. That's what I get to eat. So that's kind of a fun tradition that we've done all these years.
I know y'all usually play them at what's now First Horizon, but what was it like coaching against Vandy at Vandy during the World Series?
During their World Series runs, I just tell you, playing Vandy anytime is really tough because they're year in and year out a top 10 program, if not top 5. So playing them wherever you're playing them, we could play them at First Horizon, you can play them at Vandy, you can play them here, we can go play them at the Little League Park, and they're going to be really hard to deal with because they're a good team and well coached. So but it is more difficult. That's a great question. It is more difficult to play them at their home park than it is anywhere else because they're so good at their home park, just like everybody is. Everybody's a little bit better when you play at home, but Vanderbilt is even double or triple most likely better than they would be playing them somewhere else. Fortunately this year, we got rained out over there last year and we ended up playing them at Vandy to make that game up. So this year we're actually going to play them here. So we get to host Vandy here sometime in April. So that'll be a great time if anybody listening or watching wants to come to a game. Look that exact date up, and we're playing them over here one evening in April. So it'll be a good game for us.
Back when I was a student here at Lipscomb, I don't know if you remember this, but I've actually had the chance to go throw the ceremonial first pitch out at the Xavier game.
Yeah.
I still have that ball.
Yeah. We hope that everybody has that same spirit about it when we invite somebody to come throw the first pitch out. When we invite somebody to come out, it's usually somebody that is, vital to the success of what goes on at Lipscomb, and just kind of somebody who has invested their heart and their soul into what goes on here. Sometimes it's, from you to professors to former players to, just somebody from around town that's a figurehead that we want to have, come out and do that. So I hope everybody has the same sentiment that you do to be able to keep that ball and recognize that that's a cool thing to get to do, and we want to recognize somebody mostly before every game to be able to do that, because we have a lot of help we have to have a lot of help to make this thing pull off. And I tell our players all the time, there are a million things that go into winning. And one of the things that goes into it is, is from the first pitch dinner to the first pitch at the game to what we're doing right here. Everything is important, and everything is one of those, adds up to one of those million things that goes in to winning championships. Just like you and I talking right now is one of those things. And I think that's important for our program, for me to be able to get on here with you today, and for people to be able to see, some insights about what's going on in the program. So I hope that everybody takes the same, has the same passion as you do for those opportunities to throw the first pitch out, and those opportunities for me to be able to do this with you today.
I got called out for not jumping the line.
Oh, with all these baseball traditions, huh?
Yes, I got called out for not jumping the line because I remember having stepped on it, and I was like, I learned after the fact, don't do it.
There's so many baseball traditions that go into it, and some of our guys don't even really know that, and I have to try to teach them those traditions all the time. But stepping on the line is probably one of the on the lower end. That would be all right, but for some reason, all us baseball players. So from now on, when you got called out on it, so from now on, when you go on a ball field, what will you do? You'll jump the line.
Yeah,
That's right.
When you first came to Lipscomb, what was the state of the baseball?
I think it was in pretty good shape. I mean, we had some really good players that were left over when I got here. Be honest, to have a Caleb Joseph and Rex Brothers and Josh Smith, gifted to you, 3 major leaguers that were gifted to you when you take over the program. That's pretty good. We were able to bring in, some other recruits, some older guys that came in for 1 year, Blake Bratcher and George Gutierrez, and just to name a few. And we had some really good players that the other staff had held over, as far as just guys that were coming in, as junior college transfers. So we had some good players that were in. That were left over for that. So the program was in good shape. I think for the one thing that we've been able to do for the last 18 years, I hope that we've been able to impact, people's lives, and I hope we've been able to just do some different things other than what we've accomplished with some championships on the field. Hopefully off the field, like I said, we're building up guys that are going to be great leaders in their family, and better sons, husbands, and fathers, like I said before.
Describe to me what was going on Stetson's field when y'all found out that, hey, we're going back to the World Series.
Those moments are, and I was speaking to a group of people the other day, and those moments are almost like a drug. Like it's almost like you plan for that, and you practice for that all year long. And then when it does happen, we had a lead going into the last inning. We got the first 2 guys out, so we were getting close to the thing. And the build up to that is, you can think about things that happen in your life, and things that people listening can things that happen in their lives that you're looking forward to, and the excitement level and all of the work that you put into that, and all those million things come together at that one moment. And the culmination of that is it's really a special moment for the players, the coaches, and everybody involved, because you pour into that same opportunity for when we go out to practice today. We're pouring in to do that again, because like I said, it's like a drug. It's something you want to have all the time. And it's like, your favorite food. If you like to drink Coke, man, you like to drink Coke and you want more of it. But if we probably shouldn't drink too much Coke, but we all do that. But at the end of the day, man, that experience is second to none. And I really think that, when you get that experience once, you want to experience it again. And it's just so exciting to be able to think about that, and to reflect back on what happened and look forward to it happening again.
We were talking off camera about your son Brooks.
Yeah.
What we have a mutual. You and I have a mutual friend that he would always pull Brooks aside and have a one-on-one Sunday school.
Yeah.
Can you remember what Brooks's favorite lesson was?
Well, I think just getting to hang out with Mr. Steve was his best lesson. And if you listeners know who Mr. Steve is, he's one of a kind. But Brooks is he's such a creature of habit. And when it took a while for him to warm up to Steve, but once he warmed up to Steve, it was something that they had a relationship that is it's second to none, and I just I'm blessed. Me and my wife are blessed that Steve he entered Brooks's life, and that they have a great relationship. And every now and then he'll swing by and see Brooks when he goes to work with my wife. Steve will still swing by and say hello to him. But Brooks is he's blessed to be able to know Mr. Steve. But I appreciate you asking about it.
One final question: do you or the baseball team have any social media that people can follow you on?
Yeah, I think it's I'm so old, Rowdy. I don't do much social media, but all the young people that run that, we have a baseball site on on Twitter and on Instagram and Facebook and all that. They can follow that, Lipscomb Baseball. But all the players, if you go to the website, all the players have a link on there that people can follow them by just going to the website and find out their names and check them out on social media. But again, that's kind of beyond me. You young people know a whole lot more about that than I do. But I think that if you want to get to know the players a little bit more, like I say, all that stuff is on our Lipscomb website.
Coach, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure.
Well, Rowdy, I couldn't. When you asked me to do it, I was so blessed that you thought about me to be able to do this, and the opportunity to talk about our team and get to share some things with you and get to know you a little bit better is really cool. So I really appreciate the opportunity and look forward to seeing you at some games this spring.
Yes, sir.